started. I just want to take time to welcome all of you here to the State of the City address tonight. Thank you for coming to join us this evening. I'm just going to be going through a few things about some of the highlights, what's been going on in the city the last couple of years. I would like to point out up at the front there, you notice there's a QR code there. If you have some questions after I've done my presentation and you can't get them answered here tonight with the staff or the council members that are here, we encourage you to go ahead and fill out questionnaire cards and submit them, and the staff will be able to answer those or get back to you within a week. But the goal is for you to be able to, get those questions you may have answered tonight about anything with regards to the city. Kind of how it's going to go is I'm going to kind of give a presentation. I'm going to introduce some people. We'll go through some highlights, and then once I'm done, the staff are here and available, and we encourage you to just visit with them. Come up, ask them questions you may have. It can be anything regarding the city. A specific issue you have, could be roads, could be a question you have about permitting or ordinances or anything like that. Feel free to ask. Council members and myself will be available as well. So we want to make this kind of an open, interactive opportunity for people to just talk with us. And if you have thoughts or concerns, please share them with us. That's what this is about. So I'll just move forward. Of course, I'm Mayor Todd Rogenkamp, and again, welcome all of you. I want to quickly introduce, we do have a couple of our council members here tonight, so I'm just going to ask them to stand when I introduce them. But Steve Jensen, would you please stand? Michael Maroney. And then two of our other council members that aren't present tonight is Rebecca Ball and Brad Scott. And so the four of them plus myself make up the council. Thank you, gentlemen. And again, we're here and available for you to answer questions. And then I want to take a little bit of time to thank the people that participate in some of our committees. We have a planning commission, we have Parks Committee, Streets Committee, and the Cemetery Commission. I won't name all the names. I know there's a couple of them. Mr. Nelson is here this evening. He serves on the Street Committee. And there may be some others in the crowd that are a part of that, but I want to take time to recognize them. They take time out of their busy schedules to be able to partake and be engaged in the city process. And if you're interested in serving on any of the commissions or committees, I would encourage you. Every year there are some openings usually that happen. They're towards the end of the year in December when we go ahead and fill those spots. We usually post and list it on the website as well as all of our other social media and other places. So if you're interested in belonging to those or getting involved in them, you can fill out an application and submit it. And you can do that at any time. So if you're interested in wanting to be on one of those, submit the application, turn it over to staff. They'll hang on to it, and when we have an opening, they'll be considered. Those are all appointed positions, and so we're looking always for people that want to be engaged and join in that. And they do very important work on each one of those. Of course, the Planning and Zoning, Parks Committee, Streets Committee, and Cemetery Commission. So again, thank you to all the people that serve on those committees and are partake in that. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to look back at some things that have happened over the last couple of years. The first thing we're going to talk about is the new City Hall completion. And basically that opened this last summer. Construction began in 2024 and completed in 2025. The city facilities can be rented out. So if you're interested in renting this space, we encourage you to check out the website or stop in here at City Hall and talk with one of our staff, and they can give you all the information to do that. So it's the meeting rooms. We have this. We also have the library that's off to the side here. We encourage people to take advantage of that as well. And so this was a project that was something that over the course of years was looked at and determined that it needed to be done. And so we were able to go ahead and get this updated and build the new facility. We now have opportunities for expansion. So if we add staff, we have staff housing available, basically offices and space available, whereas in the old facility here, we did not have that. We didn't have the space and we'd outgrown it. So that's what we were looking to do, was to do that. And one of the things we've also done is one of the things you'll hear about as we go through this tonight is strategic planning. Planning for the future, getting ready so that in 25 years or 20 years, if something has to be done with this building, we're prepared and ready to go and we have the funds available. So we're not looking at it and going, okay, now what do we do? And so we've worked to start developing capital improvement plans with the facilities and other things, our equipment and so on, so that we can build for the future. We can plan for the future. so that we are not having to react. So be proactive rather than reactive, and that's what we're working to do, is trying to be strategic about that process. Of course, we had a ribbon cutting event. I know some of you that are here attended that, and that was a well-attended event. We had an open house here, I believe last fall, and we had quite a few people that attend and come in and check it out. And if you know of people that haven't been up here and checked out the new City Hall, I would encourage you to let them know to come up and visit. If they want a tour, the staff can give them a brief tour to kind of show them what it is, because this is something that the city and the constituents should be proud of to have. The nice thing too is that it's connected backwards into the park area, so people that are out in the park can also access City Hall as well. One of the other big things that happened is in 2025, we opened our community garden, which has been highly successful. It's located right out here to the north of City Hall, and with the lots there, Parks and Recreation Committee and staff are really the ones that make this possible. Our staff are the ones that work, Deb primarily, along with Joe, working to get the lots and the plots already. That's a first come, first served basis. So you can put in for one of those, and once you get it reserved, it's yours for the season. And then the following year, you can go and get another one reserved again. And I think we have 100 total. No, how many is it total? 67, somewhere in there. And are they all full this year? Yes, so all of them are being used right now. So this is a great way, if you don't have a space to do a garden and you'd like to do that, we encourage you to come up here. There's water accessible. There's all the things that you need to be able to do your gardening. It's fenced in to keep all those pesky deer away, so that helps too. Otherwise, they'd eat all the vegetables before they even got out of the ground. But really encourage you to get engaged in that if you would like to. And like I said, just contact staff and City Hall, and they'll help you with that process. Usually, I think we put those out in about January, February, somewhere in there. Isn't that when we first put them out every year? Yeah. So I'm looking to Joe and Deb, because I know they're the ones that primarily work with that as staff. So thank you guys for putting that all together. And I know it's been highly successful, and a lot of people really like that. Couple things. We have now new financial software. This was rolled out in 2025. And basically a big portion of that was to modernize the city's accounting and processing payments. A lot of our payments are done like in person by hand, which takes a lot of time, a lot of staff time. We've now kind of modernized that so you can pay your utility bills, golf cart permits, building permits, your community garden plots, and more, all done online. So it just makes it a little easier for you to be able to go on there and get it processed. If you have questions about that or curious about that, contact staff. They can help you walk through that process. And it just streamlines it a little bit. So like people who get golf cart permits, in the past they would come in, had paperwork to fill out, sign that, staff would have to work with them there. This way you can just go online, you fill the form out, you make your payment, boom, you get your permit and you're good to go. So it's really made a big difference in being able to do our processing, and that ultimately is saving us money too in regards to staff time. So a couple things. So we did a strategic plan earlier this year. The council met and we spent some time focusing on what that strategic plan looks like, and we really came out with 5 key pieces out of that. And long-term financial planning, street infrastructure, community engagement, planning and development, and organizational management. And I'm going to quickly run through each one of those and talk a little bit about some of the focus that we have with that. So long-range financial planning. One of the things that we looked at was that we will be engaging in a long-range financial plan. I just mentioned earlier about the idea that we need to be strategic. The same thing, we need to be planning for the future. What's it going to look like? What are the things that we have coming that are going to cost? And so some of the goals are to identify capital investments needed over the next 10 to 15 years. Well, what are capital investments? Well, that would be roads, infrastructure, equipment, other things that we feel that we need to have in order to be able to give the constituents the amenities that they need within the city. The funding strategies to successfully plan financially for investments is necessary also. So what will this include? Well, it's going to include street infrastructure improvements and maintenance, which we're already working on. We already have a capital improvement plan in place for our streets, and our streets committee are actively identifying roads that need to be improved over the course of the years. And they've been that identification process is done by a scoring. So they score the roads based on their age, the degradation of them, where they're at, and then they prioritize them based on that, saying, okay, these are the first on the list that have to be taken care of, here's the second, and so on and so forth. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we move forward. Wastewater expansion and improvements, that's one of the things that the city is already recognizing, that within the next 5 to 7 years, we will need to expand our wastewater plant. It currently is at capacity that's still doing fine, but it's getting to the point where as we continue to grow as a city and we have more people settling here, then it's going to get to the point where we're going to have to expand it. We're going to have to update it. And if you are interested in learning more about that, I encourage you to talk with Joe tonight after our presentation. He and the Public Works guys have been working nonstop on, they've got a bunch of plans they've put in place. They're doing some monitoring of the plant right now, trying to get the best data possible so that we can look at that and go, okay, what is it that we exactly need and what's the expansion going to look like? So that's one of the things. A master parks plan. So the Parks Committee has been busy working on a master plan for our parks, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later on, but they've just got done completing a master plan for that, and really looks at about 3 different phases that they'll be looking at, and the city will then be considering what we want to do as a part of that and how that works, hopefully getting the community involved with some of that work as well. Facility improvements and maintenance needs. So when we talk about facility improvements, of course, this was just updated, but we also have the police department adjacent to the city hall, which that building is getting up there in years, and we're going to have to start taking a look at what are we going to do some updates to that building as well. So that's there. Capital equipment purchases, of course, whether that be for the roads or what we're working on, we have to be continually doing that. We do have a capital improvement plan in place for that right now. So we're already planning for the future. But that also includes, capital equipment includes police department vehicles, things of that nature. And then GIS tool for street and sewer infrastructure. So that's something, again, that goes along with that to better determine the layout of the sewers, the streets, and being able to access that and use it to plan accordingly for the future. So that's a little bit about the financial planning and what we're looking to do, and we're going to be implementing that late 26, 27. And the idea, part of that planning too, is thinking about how, if you're not aware, the majority of our revenue that's raised in this city comes from property taxes, okay? That's where the bulk of our money is coming from. And so we need to look at how do we then meter that out as constituents in the city so that there's a gradual over time rather than this up and down, up and down, up and down regarding your taxes and what that looks like. And so we're looking at how do we build that into this financial planning for the future as well, so that the constituents have a consistent idea of what it's going to look like as the years go by with regards to taxes and how that works moving forward. So that's a part of that planning process that we're working on. Public infrastructure is the next one. And so I talked about the roads. So right now there's 43.58 miles of paved roads and 12.08 miles of gravel roads. And then minimum maintenance, there's about 7.25 miles. So right now the streets capital improvement plan is just addressing that 43.5 miles of paved roads. Okay. We still have to look at our unimproved as well as our gravel roads, I should say, as well as our minimum maintenance roads. So the street committee have a lot of work in front of them. They started to tackle that, but they're really doing great work, and I think we're going to continue to work forward with that. This summer we have basically, I'm going to get into that, street improvement projects. So we have 2026 street improvement projects. We have Wren Drive, and we also have Piney Way and Bluebird Lane. So Bluebird Lane and Piney Way are doing a full depth reconstruction. That means it's right down to the gravel. We're taking all the asphalt out, rebuilding it, and then repaving it. And then Wren is basically an overlay. So they're going to mill the top layer off and overlay it with new asphalt. And so these were the 3 that were identified by the Streets Committee last year and were budgeted for this year. They've already identified a road, or I think 1 or 2 for next year, if I believe, that are going to be improved as well. The other one, the big one on there, is the Bushman Road reconstruction. And right now, a little talk about that is the city of Breezy Point received an LRIP grant from the state of Minnesota for $1.5 million to help build this road. And I have to thank Commissioner Lubke, who's here in the audience tonight, as well as our senator and our representative, Josh Heinzman and his wife, Senator Heinzman, who wrote support letters for us to help support, get this grant, because it made a huge difference in regards to how we were going to have to pay for this project. Before, all was going to have to be bonded for, and now only a portion of it will, to be able to help us with that building of that road. Right now, the way it looks, the plan is to hopefully that we're going to be going out for bids in July. The process was delayed a little bit because we had to wait for the approval of the grant. We also had to wait for the state to approve the plans for the road because it's got to go to the Minnesota DOT. They've got county has to sign off on it, the state has to sign off on it, and then once that all happens and it's all approved, then we can go out for bid. So we're hoping for July, and if our bids are good, it would be looking at August for opening and approval of a bid, and then with construction to start in the fall. We would not get the whole construction project done this fall, but we would start and then finish up in the summer of '27. And that talks a little bit about that. You can kind of see what that's going to be. It's going to be Bushman Road as well. It'll be a portion of Ranchette, North Ranchette. And so what are the goals? Well, to enhance safety, strengthen regional connectivity, and then plan responsibly. So trying to minimize some different things on the right-of-way. Improve safety. One of the big pieces that's going to happen, everybody knows the large hill right there by Swenson's place, that's going to be cut down significantly. Well, it will not be flat. It's going to be a lot less of a hill than it was before. And so a couple of the other hills are also getting knocked down. As you well know, Bushman's got quite a few of those as you get out towards County Road 11. So we're working on trying to flatten some of those out. And then also, of course, it's widening the road itself, as well as opening up the ditches on the side. So a lot of the trees that you see that are very close to the road, those will all be removed. So that'll all be gone, so the road is opening up. As you well know, if you drive down that road right now and you meet a dump truck, it's who's going to survive. Usually the dump truck gets the best of that because the road is so narrow. So we're looking at trying to improve that. Along with that, Ideal Township is also rebuilding their portion of the road as well. So they're doing their project in tandem with us, and so that's kind of a nice thing. So overall, we're going to get that road improved quite a bit, and it's going to create that. So think about if we start construction this fall, next summer, Bushman a lot of the time will be inaccessible. That'll be closed down, and I'm sure then they'll have a detour set up for people to get around and work it. And the other big thing is building the road to handle the stress that it gets right now. The road is not currently designed to handle that. And we're hoping that we will improve that with this building and reconstruction process. So, let's see. Whoop. Oh, what did I do? There we go. I hit the wrong button. Come on. There it goes. There we go. So just a little bit of right there. I kind of covered this already. But tentative construction to start date midsummer with a final completion in 2025. Then moving on, community engagement is another one of our priorities. So this is some things for you. If you as a constituent want to know what's going on in the city, here are ways that you can find out. One is our Breezy Point Facebook page, our website. We also have a seasonal newsletter that gets sent out, and we have a monthly Breezy Brief that goes out to all residents. So you should receive those if you live here within the city and you have a mailing address, I believe, within the city. Is that correct?
The newsletter.
The newsletter, yes. Okay.
Breezy Brief is on the website.
The Breezy Brief's on the website, so you can go right there to check that. And then the new thing just launched here at the end of May is the City Mobile app. So now Breezy Point has its own app, and you can download on your phone and then set it up for notifications, and it will give you notices and notifications of all events and things going on within the city. So if you're interested in getting that, I would highly encourage you to download that. Traffic updates, important events, emergency notifications, city updates, all that. And so that can be very, very, very good for you to have in case of emergencies or something happens where we need to communicate. We try to get that out on our Facebook page currently right now and try to put it on our website, but this is more of an instantaneous, you've got it and you can get access to it. So these are some of the things we're working to do to improve the ability for people in the city to stay engaged and understand what's going on. A couple events that we have coming up is the butterfly release. It's going to be happening July 18th at the Pelican Wood Cemetery. Our cemetery commission does an awesome job every year with that. If you are interested in attending, I would highly encourage you to do so. You can, I should ask, are butterflies up for purchase now? No, not yet. Okay, but coming soon?
Coming soon, we'll get information out.
Coming soon. So we'll have information coming out. If you want to purchase a butterfly to release on the day of the butterfly event, you can do that. And you can purchase one and then release it in memory of a loved one or somebody else that you're thinking of. We usually have I would say 300 to 400 people that come every year for it. It's a great turnout. I would highly encourage you, if you haven't attended, please come. It's a great time, and it's a great way to recognize and remember some loved ones who are no longer with us. So my wife and I attend, and we really have a great time. It's a very short, it only takes probably an hour and a half that we're there. The Public Works guys do a great job of getting everything all set up. We have chairs, and we have a little tent there, and we do a little presentation, and the cemetery commission is recognized, and then you can pick up your butterflies there, and then we do a kind of a release, and everybody releases their butterflies there in the cemetery. So encourage you all to come if you can make it. And then also the other thing is the Night to Unite. So that's on August 4th, 2026. And that's our police department is there, and they come out. They have an event right here. We also have the fire district is usually here as well. We have some others that come in attendance, and we encourage you to come. It's held right here by in the park area. But come out and unite with people of the community. This is an opportunity for you to get together with other members of the community and get to meet them and engage with them and talk to them. Also visit and interact with our police department and our fire district and others that are there and ask questions. Often we have some of the council attend and staff, some of the staff are there as well. So we highly encourage you to come. This is an opportunity, both of these events are opportunities for you as constituents to become engaged in the community. We really encourage you to do it. Even if you just want to come out and check it out and not stay long, we would love to have you. So please look at that, stop in. All the information will be posted on those places that we just talked about, so you can check out, or if you can't get access there, if you make a call up here to City Hall, they'll be more than happy to give you the information that you're looking for. So that's just couple of the pictures from the Night to Unite, I believe, and the butterfly release. Yep, we always have the color guard there at the butterfly release. They come and do a great job for us as well on a presentation. So come join us if you're able to. So the next one is community planning and developing. So one of the big things coming is online codification. So that is a Muni code and an online platform that publishes and maintains the official city code. So right now our city code, if you access our website, is basically a great big PDF file that is very burdensome to go through and look at. But we're working to update that and to make it more user-friendly, and we'll be rolling that out here this midsummer. So if you're looking for something on ordinances, you have a question about, hey, do I need this permit, or do I need this, or what about this when it comes to building, you can go there and be able to look first and try to gain the information before contacting city staff. And then a comprehensive plan. So every year the city does, or not every year, I should say every 5 to 10 years the city does a comprehensive plan. We are now looking at doing our comprehensive plan update. And it's basically what that is a working document. It provides a blueprint for action and direction to assist decision makers with land use and development. And so the last one was in 2020. And so we're looking at doing one in the next 2 years. And when we do this, we will be engaging the community. Oftentimes we hold open houses as a part of the comprehensive plan. We want the people's involvement in this. It helps us get a better understanding as council. What direction do you want your city to go in? What are things that are important to you? What are the things that you want to make sure that we're thinking about as we move forward? And so that comprehensive plan is kind of like a plan that really helps us give direction and understanding. We look at it in regards to developing our strategic plan and what are some of the goals there. And so a couple of the things that we had in our strategic plan came from what we heard in the last comprehensive plan that we did. So we'll be working on that, and watch for information on that if you want to get involved and engaged in that process. So I talked about the master parks plan. This basically was just presented to the council at our last council meeting. So if you want to check out more information there, you can go on YouTube and see our council meeting from what we just held. But really what we're looking at is to enhance and add recreational opportunities, improve connectivity within the park, improve flow and parking, prioritize accessibility, and plan for phase implementable improvements. So one of the things is it's 3 phases, and what we will be looking at is prioritizing what we want to do with regards to that phase. Again, if you're interested in seeing the plan in detail, you can get it through staff here at the city. Do we have it posted on the website? So it is posted on the website. You can go on the website and look at it there too. And it lays out exactly what the park committee working with Woodseth came up with. And they did a lot of work on it. And there's some really great things there. So take a look at that. And by all means, if you have input or feedback on it and you want to let us know, get with city staff, get with Allie, our city administrator, and let her know your thoughts. And she'll share that with the park committee as we move forward. Of course, as you well know, with any of those, it all takes funds, so it's looking at where can we get those grants is one of those things that we're looking at, but then also potentially, as we look at this long-range financial planning, maybe a potential increase to some of the money going to the budget for the parks to improve that. And again, this is an amenity for the constituents of the city, so they can come use it. So we're looking at improving the walking paths here. There's like a kids nature area that's looking to be planned. Potentially pickleball courts, some other things that are being involved, the basketball court maybe eventually, larger parking area that's easily accessible, and some of those types of things. So really looking at trying to increase that opportunity for people to come in and use our park that's here. So organizational management, that was another one of the strategic priorities. So the Pequot Lakes Fire District was established in 2022. That is a joint venture between the city of Pequot Lakes and the city of Breezy Point. And the goal is to strengthen emergency responses by sharing resources, improving efficiency, and enhancing effectiveness. Future rebranding to better reflect the partnership between Breezy Point and Pequot Lakes is forthcoming. And then to improve clarification, support, recruitment, and long-term sustainability. So this is a new thing we did in 2022. We've been at it now about 4 years, and so we're looking at doing some different things. One of the things, as we said, is rebranding. So we're looking at doing more of a generalized name per se, rather than a city-specific name, because quite honestly, the fire district is not only Pequot's, it's also Breezy Point's now. So it's a joint ownership that's going on there. And so that came about from the fact that we always used to contract our services out from Pequot Lakes. And we felt that there was a need to be more actively involved at the table with them. So we formed the fire district, and there's a joint powers board that's between Pequot and Breezy Point. We do have citizens that serve on that committee, but also the mayors, and then council members from each of the cities serve on that board as well. And the chief answers to that fire board or that joint powers board. And we continue to the ones that are work with the budgeting. So there's a lot of long-term goals that we're working on, but it's a slow, continual process of moving forward. But look for more of the stuff on rebranding. We want to get the community involved. One of the things we're looking at is changing the name. But when we change the name of the fire district, we're going to be updating the patch that's worn by all the firefighters, and we're going to be asking the community to be involved in deciding what that's going to look like. So we want to get the community involved with that as a part of that rebranding process and have some involvement there. Another thing is, of course, city staff changes. We hired our city administrator, Allie Polfus, in 2025 now. It's coming up on a year. I can't believe it already. It's been a year she's been here, but great addition to have. Administrative assistant Kathy Nelson was hired in October 2025. If you come into City Hall, 9 times out of 10, Kathy's the one that you're going to interface when you come to the main desk. And if you call, almost 90% of the time, 95% of the time, Kathy's the one answering the phone. So she's been a great addition to our staff. Public Works seasonal employees, Alex and Owen were hired for the summer of 2026, and I saw them just the other day come by my place on the little Bobcat side-by-side. My guess is they were headed down to the disc golf course, probably doing some work down there. Yep. And so we do that. We work really hard to hire those seasonal employees. Usually are Alex and Owen both college guys or high school guys?
Owen just graduated high school, Alex is college.
Yeah, so we always look to try and get some young guys that'll come out and be seasonal workers for us, and they do a great job. We had a couple for quite a few years, and they moved on now because they graduated from college, and now we've got a couple new ones working for us. So you might see them from time to time about planning and zoning administrator to be on board within the next month. We just basically hired that position, made an offer to them, and they will be starting here soon in July. So that's a great addition. We've had Jerry Bonesack, who's been our planning and zoning administrator for quite a few years. He's been on a contract basis, done a great job for us. But it was time for us to be able to get somebody on full time. Jerry's looking at being able to sail off into the sunset, maybe play a little more golf and enjoy life a little bit with his wife. So we work to get it filled, and we're really happy, I think, with the new candidate that we've got coming on board. So that's a great addition. And then of course, just recently here, Police Officer Jay Larch resigned, and the vacant position is anticipated to be filled by early fall. I think they just had interviews on that vacated position, so they're working on that process. Jay, great officer, we're so sorry to see him leave, but Pequot School is going to get him because he's gone over there to be the resource officer. So they're going to be really happy with him, and I know that Jay will do an awesome job for them over there. But very sad to see him go. He was a great asset to our department. And then basically questions. So we have blue cards in the back that you can fill out, or you can scan the QR code to submit a question. Or now, if you'd like, if you have questions, you can meet with any of the city staff that are here. They're all available. We have our administrator here. We have Jeanette Russ, who's our financial director. We've got Joe Zierden, who's our public works director. Brian Sandell is our police chief. We also have Deb Runksmeyer, who's our clerk as well here. Council members are in the back. I'm here available. Feel free to ask us any questions you have. The blue cards are also in the back. There's cookies and water there, so help yourself with that. Yeah, so like I said, just go ahead and feel free to ask us any questions you may have on any of the information I shared with you, or any other questions you think you might have about anything else. But thank you for coming, and appreciate you listening to the presentation. Thanks.